What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TV and Me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time again for the Walking Dead weekend.
You'll always be with us. Part of us.
Damn bollocks are gonna make me cry again. I can't handle this.
I just want to say thank you.
For what?
Before the prison, I didn't know if there were any good people left. You took me in. 'Cause you took people in. It was you, man. But I said yesterday, I ain't revising it. Even in light of current events. Nightmares end. They shouldn't end who you are. And that is just this dead man's opinion.
I'll take it.
Damn it.
Just look at her and tell me the world isn't gonna change.
Why are you smiling?
I think I was dreaming. And I think you were smiling back at me in the dream.
So what is it? The good that comes out of this bad?
Give it here. You step out.
Once Eugene gets to the big brains left up there, things are gonna bounce back. This group should be there for it. You should be there for it.
They will be. Yeah, we will.
We will. Let's go. Never asked how it was for you. Getting to terminus.
You kill me.
No, it didn't. You're now sitting in there, quiet. It isn't just what happened last night. Saying what happened before, out loud. I see it all again. I hear them.
Yeah. That won't stop. But it won't be all the time.
Oh, not already. Seriously. Daryl. Where's Carol?
Where's Carol?
Come on out.
What the fuck has happened now? So there we have it, episode 3, and god damn, Bob had to die. That was a hard one to take. That was a hard one to watch. Even though I had sort of accepted his fate over the last few days, because, you know, he had his leg taken, he was kidnapped by the termites. I mean, the outlook wasn't good at all. But despite that, I had that little bit of hope that he would get out the situation, but like The Walking Dead does, it did it again. It snatched that hope, and, you know, Bob died. And it was really, really sad to watch. You probably tell by the reaction. And I tell you what really got the tears rolling was the way he went out. He went out the way he lived his life, and that was with a smile on his face. There was no sadness, there was no crying. He was just, you know, smile on face, coming out with jokes, you know, being Bob, and he passed. But despite him going out that way, it still wasn't easy to watch, like I say. But I gotta say, over the last few episodes, I really grew attached to the Bob character, mainly because of the conversations he had with Sasha. The one that stuck out most to me, and I had to cut it out of last episode, unfortunately, which sucks for time reasons, but there was a conversation between Sasha and Bob where, you know, they were walking through the forest together, and Bob was saying positive things every time Sasha said something negative. So like Sasha would say, for instance, you know, lack of personal space, and then Bob would say a captive audience. You know, he always had a positive for everything, and, you know, much like we've learnt in this world, positivity is hard to come by, and, you know, when it is there, it gets snuffed out, and unfortunately Bob was snuffed out. One thing I do absolutely love, though, is the fact that they gave Bob, they didn't just kill him, they gave him the opportunity to get one up on the termites. The moment where they're eating him, you know, he's crying, I'm feeling sorry for him, then he starts to laugh, and I'm thinking, shit, has he just cracked? Is he going crazy? And then he reveals that he was bit. That was, I think that was the pure definition of bittersweet. Bitter because, you know, a man I'd really grown to appreciate had been bitten. He was going to die if the termites didn't kill him. You know, his fate was sealed in that moment. But at the same time, like I say, he got one up on the termites, the people I hate. And the look on their face, the joyous moment he had being able to reveal that after he'd been stringing them along the whole time. He knew that, and he was waiting for that moment. It was a fabulous, fabulous moment. And just, like I say, bittersweet. That whole moment is easily going to go down as one of my top 5 moments, I think, in this entire series. Just because of the timing of it, the fact it was against these cannibals, you know, who are eating you, and in a really ironic way, they've condemned themselves by eating the flesh. Now, I don't know if it would have infected them because it had been cooked. He said it had been cooked, so the virus would have been killed. I don't know. I like to think that it would have eventually killed them, even if it wouldn't have. I want to think that, just for Bob's sake, just for the fact that he didn't die for nothing. And like I say, top 5 moment for me. Really loved it. And as we saw later, Rick also got one up on the termites, thankfully. Whew. There was a moment there where they sort of teased us, where, you know, Rick and a group left the church and left the vulnerable people, so to speak, in the church. But I knew Rick wasn't that stupid. Just previously, they had been shot at, so it's obvious that the termites were out in the woods somewhere, and for them to just wander away and head towards their camp without checking the forest if anybody's there is so stupid. And you know, like I say, Rick isn't that dumb. And when they came back, I wasn't surprised. I was thankful, but I wasn't surprised, and they dealt with the situation. And, you know, God, I hate myself saying this, but I love the way that shit went down. I really do. The way that Rick was, I'm going to say it, Rick was cold in that moment, but I appreciated it, where he said we didn't want to waste the bullets. That's why he didn't kill them when they went in. And whoo, as cold as it is, it was totally badass. And the thing is, I know Rick in his mind knew he had to kill his people, but at the same time I don't feel like it was in a super callous way. He's not doing it out of pleasure, he's doing it because he knows he has to do it. And that's the difference in my own personal mind, you know. That's what I think the difference is between him and another killer. These termites were callous in what they were doing. Rick isn't. He's doing it because he has to do it to make his group safe. Also, even though the murders were pretty brutal, it needed to be done. And I saw Glenn and Maggie looking on in disbelief and disgust. And I understand it's not a pretty sight. It's not something I would want to personally witness. But the situation, the problem was dealt with. And I'm glad Rick didn't just let him get up and walk away. Now, I know that is something Rick of season 1, 2, 3, and possibly even the first half of 4 when he was in a prison would have let happen. I'm glad he put his foot down. They had their one chance when Rick and the group walked away and left him in Terminus. He gave them that chance. And I actually remember, like, way back, I can't remember which episode it was, but in a review then, I said that Rick always gives you a chance. But if you fuck up that chance, he'll deal with you. And this is that exact situation. He gave the termites a chance, you know. He left them. He didn't go back and finish them off. Even though he wanted them to, he didn't. He gave them that chance. And they're the ones that pursued Rick and the group. So they've got themselves to blame for what happened. It's their own fault. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Maybe not as brutal, the murders, even though it was badass to watch. But it needed to be done. Moving away from the termites though, let's move on to the priest Gabriel. And we learnt what he did in this episode and why there was that etching on the outside of the church. Basically, he made a decision. He was in the church and it was all locked up. And apparently his congregation came in the early hours of the morning, I believe he said it was. And they were being chased by walkers and they were scratching at the doors to get in, to get safety. And there was walkers approaching them and he decided not to open the doors and to let them in. He let them stay outside and just get eaten. And, you know, he carries that guilt with him. He decided that he wasn't going to let them in to save his own bacon. He's living with that choice. He's living with the decision he made. And he obviously feels guilt for it. Which makes me think, despite that awful decision he made, he is at his core a good person. But, you know, again, we still don't know everything. We don't know why that woman he knew, the woman we saw in the photo, was in the basement of that other place, because he obviously saw her and felt super guilty. Now I'm wondering if she was one of the ones that were trying to claw her way in and she's just ended up in the basement of that place, or something went down at that place and, you know, something he's not telling Rick and the group. I don't know. Maybe there's still something he's hiding, but I feel like he is coming clean. Knowing my luck, later down the road we'll find out he's a killer as well. We also learned that he's not actually helping the termites, he's not in cahoots with them, but we're still yet to learn if he's in cahoots with the person in that car with a cross on it. There's still that possibility, but at his core the man seems good despite the awful decision he made in that moment. Whether he's hiding something, like I say, I just have to find out later down the road. But, you know, talking about the guy in the car with the cross on it, there we did see at the end of this episode Daryl come out the bushes towards Michonne. Now Michonne asked, much like I did, where's Carol? And there was a sort of I don't know how to describe it, a look of concern, shall we say, on Daryl's face. And then he said, come here, or come forward, or something to that effect, as if to call Carol to come out the bushes. Now maybe something's happened to Carol. I hope not. Not after everything she's done for everyone. Because we don't need Rambo having one arm. Even though she'd probably still kick ass, we don't need her with one arm or something now. Unless Daryl has Beth. Actually, yeah, maybe Daryl has Beth. Maybe that's who is calling out the bushes, and then Carol won't come. And maybe Carol sacrificed her life for Beth. Oh God, I hope not. I don't need another person dying so soon, not after Bob. Damn it. Nah, Carol's stronger than that. Carol will be alive. Maybe she's been caught instead of Beth. Maybe there was some sort of trade-off where Carol rescued Beth and then Carol's been trapped or caught. There's that possibility, I don't know. Or maybe it is Carol coming out the bushes and Beth still is trapped. Maybe, like I say, Carol's lost an arm, or you know, something's happened to Carol, but she's still alive. I hope that's the case, but the look on Daryl's face is cause for concern for me. But I'll have to wait till next episode, as per usual. But that's about it. Bob dying, super sad. That was so sad to watch, but at the same time, happy because he went out with a smile on his face, happy because he went out in a bed surrounded by the people he loved, and happy because in that one moment he got one over on the termites, which was so good. I love it. I think bittersweet is the perfect phrase for this episode. Last episode I was frustrated, this episode is bittersweet. Absolutely enjoyed it, great episode, but I guess we find out where they go from here. What's going to happen to Beth? I don't know. Is Carol okay? We're going to have to find out. Why was Daryl concerned? Again, we're going to have to find out. No doubt next episode will be just as sad, just as happy, just as crazy, just as frustrating as all the episodes that have come previous. But you know what? I love absolutely every moment of it. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate it, and bye bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. Remember, if you have any thoughts or theories about the episode, you can leave them in the comments section below, but please, no spoilers. Also, if you want to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon, where you can get early access to videos or even vote in Patreon polls. Link is in the description. And finally, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter @TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.